Free Gems Network.
Yo. What's poppin'? This your boy EJ, a.k.a. Sir Evangeline Joseph, a.k.a. The Bully, a.k.a. Mr. 10 Feet, a.k.a. Mr. Petty.
This your boy Wayne, Willmatic Beats. 1/3 of Free Gems Network. Father, husband.
Podcast, brother.
What? What'd I say?
Free Gems Network.
Oh, Free Gems Podcast. Father, husband. You interrupted my style, man.
I'm sorry, brother. It's just the truth.
Graphic designer extraordinaire.
Website.
Educator extraordinaire. But like we always say, man, it's never about us, man.
At all.
Because we have another
special guest
in the building. And this one is special to me specifically.
Man, talk about it.
Because it's my auntie, man.
Hey, man. Shout out to the fam.
My family's in the building. We got Cynthia Murrell of Lieu and Trinket Spa and Play.
Come on, man.
Thank y'all for having me here today.
Thank you.
Be honored.
I'm honored. My nephew.
How we normally start out the show is, where are you from?
I'm from right here in Columbus.
Hey.
Well, let me say I grew up in Columbus, born in Phoenix City, moved here when I was just a baby, so all I've ever known was Columbus.
Okay.
Outside of my military career.
Oh, you was in the military?
Yes.
Oh, how long?
We served almost 7 years.
7 years?
Military, yes.
Thank you for serving.
And then came back to the only place to come back to.
Columbus?
Columbus. Best kept secret.
We like that. We like to ask that question because we feel there's a lot of platforms in Columbus.
That's right.
But they're not necessarily doing what Free Gems is doing. Right. You know, we bring in entrepreneurs. We get the chance to allow them to tell their story. You know, take us along their journey, and whatever gems that they done picked up along the way, they drop them on this here platform. Okay. So we appreciate that.
Most definitely. Let's just hop right into it. So, like, tell us about your upbringing and what home means to you.
Home means family, of course. There's nothing else but family.
Right.
I always put my family first. I always want to support my family, which is why I'm here today.
Right.
Because we love you, Wayne. And we love you too, EJ. You've become a part of our big family.
Right.
So that's why we're here today. So that's what it means to me. Being home means being surrounded by the people who love you, being surrounded by support. I wouldn't be in the position I'm in now if I didn't have the support of my family.
Right.
Besides me, I have a partner who's not able to be here today. She's taking care of her mother.
Right.
But my brother comes down here. He assists me with maintenance. My sister by another mother, Kathy, she comes down. She assists us. She partners with us in the catering, on the catering side. And then there's my husband, who is the biggest part of that for me because he's always supported me and everything that I've done. So for me, it's all about family.
Okay. How did Miss Cynthia, Auntie Cynthia, grow up?
I grew up, we didn't have much. That's everybody's story, right? But it's true. We grew up, just the four of us, me and my three brothers, even though we did have another sister. I was fortunate to have a mother who, at a young age, realized that she could not handle it alone. So she allowed my grandmother to take custody of us to assist her. My grandmother never, at any point, made it where we didn't know who she was. So I've always known who my mother was.
Right.
But I'm glad that she had a heart to want to see us survive and do better, that she placed us in my grandmother's hands. Right. I didn't have everything when I grew up, but I had everything when I grew up because I had the most important things. I had Rick, Ronald, Donald, sister, and mama. Right. So that's what I grew up knowing. I grew up understanding that I could do anything and be anybody I wanted to be as long as I trusted God and never gave up. Right. So from a young age, that was implanted in me.
Being that young and seeing the sacrifice from your mom that early on, talk to us about what that means in you and how you've had to sacrifice in your upbringing.
Well, for me, seeing her give so much meant that I already had a heart to give. Sacrificing for our kids. Even now, the Lieu events, Trinket Spa is a part of a legacy that we plan on leaving for our kids. My husband runs the Murrell transport. So these are things that we're leaving for our children. The sacrifice is being here, being away from them sometimes. Even as they were growing up, you know, working at Aflac to make the money so that you could have all the prom dresses you wanted. Whatever was the requirement was, we were willing to do that. A lot of times when, you know, as a father, sometimes you're out of the picture because normally they're the ones who are really bringing in the roles. And for us, it was no different. But as a mother who understood sacrifice, it was easy for me to tell my kids, yes, your dad may not be here, but he's not here so that you can do what you want to do, go where you want to go, and be where you want to be. And so that is what we've always known, to make sure we were in a position to provide for our kids, and now we're providing for our grandkids. And to me, that's what life is about. If you don't, it's not so much that you have to have money for yourself, but you have to have money for the people in your life that mean something to you.
So take us down when you were a little girl. What did you want to be at that moment? I
wanted to be an electrical engineer.
Wow.
Yeah, till I joined the Army. Well, when I joined the Army, I became a 27 Mike, which is a multiple launch rocket system specialist. If you remember the war, the thing that shot the 12 rockets off the back, well, I repaired that. And after that grease, I was done with electrical.
Good.
I was done with it. And then I decided I would be a professor. So education has always been my love, one of my first loves. So getting that education, making sure those people around me are successful, for me is one thing that you can take everything from me, but you can't take what I know. And that's how our tribe, our village grows, because we could share. Like you said, when you opened up, the gyms that we have, free gyms, we give them.
Drop a bomb.
That's right. And that's how we grow. That's how we extend our territory by enlarging somebody else's. So that's for me, that's one of the biggest things, education. Military, I did that because as a young mother, I was a single parent. And I had to make sure I took care of my baby. So that was my first walk into sacrificing. What am I going to do to make sure she's taken care of? Her father died. And that left me holding that, holding everything, trying to put it together.
Did you realize that at that young of an age that you was making a sacrifice?
I just knew I was doing the right thing for my baby then. I knew that she was my responsibility. And so I couldn't give my responsibility to somebody else or expect somebody else to take care of it. And the only thing at that time that I knew was being a ROTC, ROTC. I knew that. I knew I could arm me if I couldn't do anything else. So that made the decision for me quite easy.
So how long were you in the military again?
Seven, a little over 7 years.
A little over 7 years. So when you got out, was that by choice or what happened?
Well, of course, everything starts to change. And then all the new standards set in. I'm a black woman. We thick. Sorry. You see what I'm saying? So all the standards don't always line up with who we are. So what I did, I managed to, stay in long enough. And then when it came time, they opened up the thing with the 15 years and all that was coming out. Then that was my opportunity to come on out. It changed too much for me.
Did your life change drastically when you signed those papers and you said that it's time for me to go?
No, it didn't. It didn't. Thank God for a good husband. Because he had already gotten out. He was already.
Oh, he was in too.
Yeah, he was already working. So all we had to do is just transition back. We transitioned back to Columbus. It was what I knew. And I knew here I could raise my kids in a better environment than New York. That was my other option. Not that New York is bad, because come on, y'all, we on the podcast.
Right.
Ain't nothing wrong with New York, but I just, as a country girl,
You want to come home.
I wanted to come home and raise my kids in an environment that I grew up in.
Okay.
That's right. Knowing that they could come outside and play and enjoy themselves and have open space and trees.
Right.
And so, you know.
Thank God for trees.
Yes.
You know, that's a blessing, though, to be able to come home. There's too many soldiers and just people in the military in general that come home and don't know what that next step look like.
Yes.
So to have that support system of your husband is huge.
And my family. My
Right.
family was here.
Right.
That's one thing I can say. Like, you know, I'm a military brat, but as an adult, I ain't go to the military.
Yeah.
I'm married and I have 2 kids, and I don't know a life where there's no help.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And
So
you have to have a village.
Right.
like, I don't know a life like that. Like, some people do go
Yes.
through a life like that. You know, they leave Columbus for better opportunity
Yes.
and all of that. But at the end of the day, when it's time to, you know, get something done or even just having some type of free time,
Yes,
they
that's
don't
right.
they don't have
It
that.
doesn't exist.
That's right. That's where family comes in. That's where good friends. I tell everybody, if you don't have a good village, you can't make it. Even when the kids were younger, we had a village that supported us. That same village is supporting our grandkids.
Right.
And so I'm always thankful. I don't have to, even as Nana, there's Gigi, there's Gigi Anita. So I have an extension that I stand by.
Right.
And I bow down because we couldn't be who we are and we couldn't do what we do if it wasn't for them.
Right.
My same sister by another mother, Kathy and Hyman, my hat is off to them because they have been the best godparents this side of heaven.
Right.
I ain't trained them for nobody, and nobody else needs to ask them to take.
Right.
Okay, but so that's how we are about them because they're awesome people. When we couldn't, they would.
Right.
And that's the kind of people you have to have in your life.
Absolutely.
Gotta have them in your life if you're gonna be successful.
Right. I want to thank you off the bat because I just remember when me and Anna first started dating, and if anybody ever made me feel like I was welcome, it was you.
Oh, Wayne, thank you.
And I really do appreciate it. Every time you would see me, you would say, "Baby, you family."
Yes.
Oh.
And we love you. And look, I'm like, this lady don't even really know me yet, and she already treating me as such, and I can't do nothing but thank you, auntie.
Wayne, we had to thank your mom and your parents
Right.
because they raised you. They raised you beautifully. You are a beautiful soul.
Thank
When Anna met you, we knew Anna had a real man.
you. You always
Okay?
said that. You always
we
said
knew
that.
she had a real man. It's
Right.
easy to accept real men because we stand back, we watch you, we saw how you took care of, and even more now with little man and Anna, and we got one on. We don't have to worry about how is Anna gonna survive.
Right.
We don't have to worry about how they're gonna be taken care of because your mom and dad raised you, and it shows through your life. That was the easy part, baby.
I appreciate it.
That
Shout
was
out
the
to
easy
Mom and
part
Pops.
for
I
us.
appreciate it.
Shout out to Mom and Pops.
Right, man.
So, you're getting out the military. What was next?
Getting out of the military, coming home, now school starts again.
Okay.
In the military, I did some schooling, but now was the time to be able to focus on really doing what I wanted to do.
Were you a
Okay.
full-time student?
I was. When
So
I first came
you
home,
didn't have to work or nothing.
No.
Talk about a safety net.
Talk about a good husband.
Right.
All right. Talk about it.
Yes.
So you get out. Okay, you're in college now. What was your major at that time?
I was all over the place, but I started out in business.
Okay.
Because that's always been my love. And I did business. I did legal assistant, business secretary,
Right.
accounting. If it's out there, I started.
You were granted the opportunity to have options.
Right.
If you wanted to do something and if you ain't like it, you could go do something else.
You know, I tell people I stay pocketbook ready. And when you stay pocketbook ready, you're not there because you have to be. You're there because you want to be.
want to be.
There you go.
And when you recognize it, people recognize it. They recognize who you are. So when I go in, I stay pocketbook ready. I don't have to be here. I got other places I could be.
Right.
And when you have that attitude, people respect you, and they'll respect what you do.
love
along
that.
with that, you got to have them skills
Right.
that say, I'm worth what you're going to pay me. And when you know that, you have to know your self-worth.
Right.
You have to know your self-worth. Even here today, okay, you're saying, well, we're just getting started. To you, you're just getting started, but somebody else already watching you. Oh, you know, I used to watch this guy. I remember when they was just doing this, and that. We remember when, like I was saying earlier, we used to be Wayne doing the beats.
Right.
Now Wayne's gone from beats, podcast, teaching. Okay, you've grown over the years.
Right.
And that's what it's about. It's about that growth that needs to take place. And as you grow, you hone those skills. You perfect that thing. That when people come to you, they say, oh, we gotta have you.
Right.
And you put a little twist on it where nobody's doing what you do. That's how Lieu is born. That's how we get here. Because normally when you go to an event center, you get 4 blank walls. Not here. Our lounge stay set up.
Right.
And it's no extra for it. Why? Because I need you to come in here and find something different.
Right.
Right.
So that's how I do myself. I hone my skills. I perfect those skills. And then you can't do nothing but want them. And then when you don't treat me right, I grab my purse and my picture, throw it in my purse, and we out of there.
Because you stay pocketbook
And
ready.
that pocketbook ready.
You talked about self-worth. Where did that come from? When did you figure out what your self-worth was?
From day one. I think if I hadn't had the grandmother that I had, I probably wouldn't know what I was worth, what value was. But she always told me that I was valuable. And that's what I try to teach for the girls in Trinkets.
Right.
We all have our own beauty. But my beauty is no greater than your handsomeness. Because my life is made better because Wayne is in it, because you're in it. It's what other people bring to your life that bring you value. See, I might be valuable by myself, but now sitting here after this, my value just went up.
The stock went up.
Okay? Why? Because you and Wayne came in my life. That is how it works. So I've known my value since I was a little girl. I knew I was valuable. I knew I was a diamond. You just have to find the people who know how to turn you and hold you to the light to bring the best out of it.
So look, this is why you gotta have the headphones.
You got
I'm dropping these bombs.
But
in
I
there.
want to be surprised.
I know it.
Yeah.
But you look, she came literally pocketbook
Pocketbook
ready.
And the pocketbook is full of gems, y'all. Full of gems.
And that's what it's about.
Right.
People have to be able to see the facets in you.
Right.
So being a teacher, educator, a beat maker, a podcast producer, all that, those are facets. But how do they come together and create Wayne? That's what gives you your value. The husband, the wife on top of that. Because those are all skills, even though we don't look at it that way, we're still learning something from that. How to give care, how to be compassionate. And all that needs to work together to develop you. Then when you see your value, other people see your value. See, I saw the value in you that you didn't know I saw. I knew I was looking at a man. Now, some people would have took you for granted. Not me. Not me. That's why I said, Wayne, you already a part of this. Don't worry about it. Don't nobody else like it.
You said, hey, look, you
Right
said
here.
that.
Didn't I tell you that?
You did tell me that.
So, yeah.
So you're in school. You're having your way.
Yeah.
Married.
Yes.
Kids. And so what was the major that you finally decided that this is it?
So life evolves. And as life evolved, I got a bachelor's in business administration.
Okay.
Then I got a master's in management because of what I do. See, my life evolves with what I do. Since we have a truck company, I got a graduate degree in logistics, because you need to know how to run what it is you're running.
Right.
You need to have some expertise in that area. See, it's one thing. It's like an account. It's like having a business and not having any accounting and let somebody else keep your books. Who does that? No. When I come in, can I see my books?
You want to know what you're looking at.
I want to know exactly what I'm looking at.
Like,
And
even though I hired you, I
that's right.
still want to know.
I'm gonna be your check and balance.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why education for me is so great, because it allows me to get insight into what it is I want to do and be. And then along the way, I can help you. I can say, well, listen, you don't want to go that route. This is how you want to handle that.
Right.
And so the degrees just help me do that. And it's getting me to that last stage of being a professor. So I'm about to embark on that career.
Oh, so you haven't been you are getting into being a professor.
I'm just finishing up my last master's in management.
Man, that's a blessing.
And then after that, I'm going to start sending out some resumes and putting some things out there. I only won't do online, though.
Right.
Congratulations, man. Man,
Congratulations.
we need some claps, man.
Come on, man. We can clap it up. We can clap it up.
So, what was the first business that y'all?
Avon.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? You wasn't expecting that. Avon and Tupperware. Anna, you remember that, right? Avon and Tupperware.
Okay.
So I started selling that, and that started me on the road to I can do my own business. If I can do this, I can do anything.
Right.
And that's how that started.
So, what made you want to do Avon and Tupperware?
Because I wanted my own business. I've always wanted to be my own boss.
Right.
And then I can do what I want to do, when I want to do, and how I want to do it. And I don't have to answer to anybody. What I could do is, I don't call it really dictating, but I can have a vision and have it clear enough.
Right.
And have people like my brother, like you, like Anna, like the rest help me carry it out. And for me, that's what it's about.
A visionary.
Seeing it all come to pass.
Right.
Although sometimes, even like with this place, they question the vision. But I tell them, you got to trust that process.
Got to trust?
You gotta trust that process,
And then
man.
when we were finished, they were like, okay, now I see what you were going
see.
after.
Right.
So, yeah.
What did that experience teach you, right, doing the Avon and Tupperware? Because doing that, right, you're your own boss, but it's still someone else's products.
That's right.
Right. So
And
what
how
did that
long were
teach
you doing it?
I've done it off and on probably 8 years.
Okay.
I'd win this, I'd go to win it, and be like, okay, I'm done.
Right.
And then they'll show something, okay, I need that too.
Right.
And so it was an off and on thing. But what it taught me was to persevere. Just keep going. You could do it. It's just a matter of how much time you want to invest in it.
Right.
But if you invest the time, then the positive outcome will exist. If you don't invest the time, you ain't gonna get nothing out of it. So it taught me that's what it taught me. Either you're gonna do it or you're not. And if you're gonna do it, be the best at what you do. Be the best at what you do. I'm gonna be the best. I am the best event planner. Why? Because I'm offering you something nobody else offering you.
Come on, man.
So you can go down the street right here if you want to, pay a lot of money for them 4 white walls.
Or
And
you
then,
can come here.
Or then you can come to me for your decorating. But why you gonna do that? When you come in here and I got a venue, we could do your decorating, we could do your planning, we could do your catering in one spot. And for my brides out there, I got a bridal suite and a groom space.
Tell them.
Now, where you gonna go in Columbus and get all that?
Nowhere.
And that's why we Lieu events, it's an experience up in here. And that's what we're trying to provide, an experience for our clients.
Right.
To come in and be able to have a one-stop place, almost like a one-stop shop.
Right. There's no almost about it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is at this point. You walk in, and like you said, you have trinkets that's already set up, that's
Yeah.
ready to go. So if you got a little girl out there and you need something for her to do, you want to do something special for her birthday or just a regular get out day,
Yes.
trinket spy and play.
Yeah.
But we ain't got there yet.
Yeah, we ain't got, okay, let's back
We ain't
up.
got there
ain't
yet.
got there
Okay,
yet.
okay,
ain't
let me
got
go
there
back.
yet.
So Avon and Tupperware.
Yeah.
What's you already told us the biggest lesson within
Right.
that was to persevere.
Right.
Okay, what was next after that?
After that, what did I do after that? Let's see. Oh, I did my first event planning company, Exhibit Inc.
Exhibit
Okay.
Inc.
Yeah,
I'm actually not aware of that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
Exhibit Inc. was the first baby that we launched. It did well. It did well. It was what kicked me off.
Okay.
To helping me understand this is really what you want to do. And so I did Exhibit Inc. on the side. I worked at the hospital on the cancer floor, which taught me compassion, taught me how to really deal with people. No matter what was going on, there's always a good spot. There's always happiness that can be found. Even if you have patients who are losing their hair, girl, when you come up to me, you need to do like me. Go get you. And the
Right.
lady they would just break out and go to laughing, right?
Right.
I said, you know what? You beautiful regardless. I said, but you have to decide what you want to make of it.
Right.
And so it's always a way to teach. It's always a way to be happy, no matter where you are.
That's a gem.
No matter where you are.
That's
and what
a gem.
situation you find yourself in. It's always going to be somebody worse off than you. Always.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
That's a gem. Come on,
You,
man.
Auntie, I don't know if you already knew what the deal was when you come on this show, that you had to drop these gems like that, but it seemed like you came prepared.
Well, you know what? Life is preparation. I'm only sharing with you what got me through my life.
Okay.
This is how I live. When I tell you it's about my family, I love my family.
Right.
Hands down. So it's easy for me to share about my family. It's easy for me to talk with you, Wayne, because we talk all the time.
Right.
So that's how I feel being here with you guys, is that I'm talking to my nephews.
Right.
And this is how I talk to my son. And so I'm doing the same with you. Whatever
We
I have
appreciate
to
it.
share, I'm willing to share.
Right.
We appreciate it.
Okay.
So,
We
okay, go ahead.
got Avon and Tupperware.
We got
Right.
Exhibit
Exhibit
Inc.
Inc.
Got Exhibit Inc. Right. And on the side, we was also doing a hospital.
Yeah, that was my real job.
That was a real job. We gonna say it's on the side because we fired them. We
fired them.
Okay.
We fired them, right? Okay, so
No, not yet. Not
happened?
yet. So she was doing Exhibit Inc. on the side, but
Yeah.
she had a full-time job. So take us down the process of when you fired your boss.
When I fired my boss I left there and went to Aflac.
okay,
How long were you
I
there?
stayed at Aflac 4 years. I think I'd have to ask Keisha, but I think it's 4 years that I stayed at Aflac.
okay,
And I worked in policy services first, which was good.
right.
And then they moved me to claims. I had to fire. It was time for me to go.
Right. Okay.
Because I love Aflac, I really did. But at that time, the crossover, because of what I knew coming out of policy services, it was hard and difficult for me to cross over to claims. Because claims is to me, they were like two different fish
Right.
that should have connected somewhere in the middle.
Oh.
And so that's why it was difficult for me in claims. Now, for some, they loved it. Just wasn't for me.
Right.
And so to make sure I could go back if I wanted to go, I was like, y'all got to go. I told my husband, he said, okay, do what you want to do.
Support.
Telling you, man.
Yeah. He said, do what you want to do. And the real reason I went to Aflac because my husband wanted a truck.
Right.
And so I said, if you want the truck, I'll go get a job. I'll buy you the truck. And then when it's done, I'll come out. But I wind up staying longer because then I had people in prom dresses to take care of.
Right.
You know, these girls was costing me money.
Right.
So I stayed a little bit longer. But when I went and talked to him, he was like, hey, do what you want.
Sacrifices.
Yeah.
So
I'm telling you, you got to have a good man.
Right.
So
Yeah.
when you fired your boss, what was next?
After I left Aflac, that's when I started doing wedding planning. Heaven
Okay.
Sent weddings. Heaven, CYNT.
Right.
Wedding. So I started doing that, and that was very successful.
Right.
And I enjoyed it. That's when I knew that was for me.
What inspired your entrepreneurial journey?
I want to say it was probably my first real job. You can work for people and you can know they're not qualified, but you can't say anything because you're not in the position above them to send them home.
Right.
And I never wanted to work like that again. When you could come and put your work on my desk and I would do the work and then you would get the credit, we don't do that
Right.
because that's called using me. So where my purse?
Who was the example? Did you have an example around you who was an entrepreneur, or where was you picking this?
I did.
So this spirit just can't just.
It was, yes.
was just in
I
you.
think that it was just God telling me, this is not where you're supposed to be. I got something else for you.
Right.
And because of how I was raised by my grandmother, you could do what you want to do, trust God.
Right.
It was so easy for me to just step out. And let me say, and because I had a husband, rain, snow, sleets, pushed them 18s for me. babe, I could do anything. I could be Superwoman, you know?
Right.
Because he allowed me to have the flexibility to do that. I am where I am today because of the man I'm married to. Besides teaching me how to pray, he also allowed me to be who I am. And now he gets the benefit from it.
Right.
Because when he's on the road, I run the company. He don't have to stress. He don't have to worry about all the bills getting paid. He don't have to worry about, is my authority still in place? Because he knows that his wife is able to do that. So he gets the benefits from what I was allowed to experience in my early years.
Okay.
So we fired Affleck.
We fired him.
We're on to Heaven Sent.
Yes.
CYNT.
See,
Pop it champ. So walk us through that. Like how was it throwing your first event through Heaven Sent?
oh my first event through Heaven Sent was a church wedding.
Okay.
And the couple at church trusted me to handle their event. And I put my little heart in it. And when I got finished decorating the church, she said, oh my God, I didn't expect it. And when she cried,
Oh wow.
I knew then I was in the right place.
Okay.
If I could affect somebody's life like that and bring them such happiness, that's where I always want to be.
Pull them emotional strings.
Yes, I always want to be in the place where somebody's satisfied or somebody receives what they've been dreaming of. Help them reach that one place, that one goal post.
Right.
That's where I want to be.
What year was this?
That was, oh my God, 90, I went 86, about 98, I think.
God got a funny sense of humor.
Around about 98. Yeah.
God be doing things full circle. Remember that thing I showed you in the 90s?
Well, I'm gonna bring it back.
We're gonna be doing
We'll
it in
bring it-
2020,
yeah.
2023, 2024. We're gonna be doing
Yeah,
that.
well, I didn't think that it was gonna get to the place where it's at today. I really think God gave me this event center so I could put a church over there. Okay, but I've been trying to hold off because there's some other things that's going on with some other family members, and I'm hoping that we're all gonna be able to come together.
Right.
But I think after being a pastor, that I realized there is so much more in God than what we see every Sunday when we go to church. There's a freedom in God that I had I was able to experience when I went to Bill Winston's church in Chicago. Shout out. There was such a freedom and such a fullness of God. And I haven't been able to experience that since. So for me, going to church changed a lot when I came from Chicago. It used to be about always being there for everything, but that's not what being in church means. And after I learned that, then I came back with a different heart. So I will always have space in my center and anything that I do for God and however he wants to lead. If he's seeing somebody else, that's fine with me.
Right.
You know? Okay, sure, go ahead.
Right.
But right now I know there's a work for me, but I believe it's helping somebody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's backtrack a little bit then.
Okay.
Where did your foundation and your faith come from? Where does that stem from?
My grandmother, seeing her on her knees praying every night. I can remember I wrote a little short story about waking up on Sundays and my mother getting us ready and
Right.
my aunt getting us ready and my grandmother, how she would have a matching purse and shoes and gloves. You know?
Right.
But she never failed to take us to church.
Right.
And when she couldn't take us, there was Miss Carrie and Miss Shell that lived across the street. She would make sure I went every Sunday. The Crowes next door would make sure I went to church. Miss Gladys that stayed across the street, you know, they all made sure that we were in church. So being in church, I learned and I knew that there had to be something greater than me.
So would you with the constant going to church and making sure that you're in church and making sure that you have faith and belief, Do you think that also played a heavy role in you being consistent?
Yes, I do. I do. I think that I believe everything in my life has been guided by God. And the word teaches that that our lives are predestined. So where I'm at now is not by happenstance. It's because it was predestined for me to be here.
Right.
You know, earlier when you said, I feel like deja vu. And I said, that means we're where we're supposed to be. To me, that's been predestined for us to meet. So we're where we're supposed to be so that God can bring about what he needs to bring about in our lives. That great moment that we're waiting on is probably it. You know, for me, this is going to be a great moment for me. Why? Because I just met people through this mic, through the camera, that I never met before. And they're hearing about the Lieu events right down here off Buena Vista Road, a place they never knew existed.
Right.
I know I keep saying it, but I just really, really appreciate you. You know, for a while now, Wayne and Anna been telling me how much you, in so many words, see the value in what we do. You know, and and it's hard to word it because some people don't, they get on our show and, you know, they're there for their reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And nothing is wrong with that, you know, because at the end of the day, we doing you a service, you helping us. Yeah. But when you come across people, genuine people that see the value in what you're doing and actually see I see it. And they understand, and you understand.
Yeah.
You know, these are conversations that we have all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and so I just want to say again, thank you.
But it actually goes further than that because even as we're growing, I'm putting on an event. Wayne, why don't you come rap? Why don't you come do some music? I'm putting on an event. Why don't y'all broadcast? Why don't y'all be my MCs? You know, it can go so much further if we just reach out to help each other. Right. Even like when your videographer came in, we in search of one. So who am I going to call first?
Bosa.
Why? Because Bosa here with me. I give back to them who give to me. That's going to always be my first thing that I do. Right. When Lieu is off the chain, it'll still remember Wayne, EJ, and Bosa. Okay? Why? Because before we were anything, before Columbus knew us, you were willing to come here and sit on this couch. And the part of me, the reason I'll be where I'm at is because you did. And that is the value that you've brought to my life. Now, I don't know if I'm bringing you much value.
No, you definitely are.
Trust me, you are.
But truly, you guys have already increased Lieu and taken us to another level just from this platform.
I really, 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 really like the way that you talk, and I want to know, are you not familiar, but are you? Do you really realize the power of your tongue?
I do. Yeah, life and death is in the power of the tongue. If we speak positive, we receive positive. We speak negative, we receive negative.
Has there ever been a moment you done said something and you ain't really?
I didn't mean that, Lord. I take
and
that.
And it happened.
And it happened. Yes. I'll give you an example. Somebody had really, really hurt me in the church. And I remember praying and telling God, I want you to take them to death and then bring them back.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
And the guy actually almost died. And then I had to tell God, and that's when God reminded me, life and death is in the power of your tongue. If that's not what you wanted, why did you ask me? So I'm always careful now what I say and how I say it.
Ooh, that took a turn.
But that's because I was so hurt. I had never been hurt to this place.
Right.
And so my thing was to always take it to God. And I didn't know at that point, I remember my pastor telling me, God put you here to give life. Breathe that life. invest life, but he didn't put you here to take it. And even though you're hurt, you got to learn to forgive. That's also when I learned forgiveness. So it was a lesson for both of us. I learned to forgive even in the midst of all of that.
You was a grudge holder?
I've never carried a grudge. I was just hurt. And when I tell people, I didn't hate the guy. I just wanted him to feel the pain I felt at that moment. If I had to go back and do it again, I never would have prayed that prayer. So there was not a grudge. Even before he died, we were good friends.
Did he know that you had prayed that prayer?
He did.
Okay.
He said, I know you prayed. Because this would be the same guy who used to share scripture. He was somewhat of a mentor to me before he hurt me. But when he hurt me, I was hurt. But if I had to do it again, I wouldn't have handled it that way. I would have handled it better.
I appreciate your vulnerability.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. I would have handled it better. Now I know better. And now that I know better, I do better.
Right.
So I don't carry grudges. I try to deal with what I have to deal with. You may not like how I deal with it, but I'm going to deal with it, and then I'm done with it. I don't hold grudges. Because they ain't doing to make me old, and I'm too cute for that.
Tell them.
Before we continue on with this episode, we're going to take a moment for a brief ad break. We're going to jump right back in.
You just providing the venue.
I'm providing the venue.
This
chairs.
is beautiful, by the way.
When you rent, you get tables, chairs. The lounge areas always stay the same on this side. So that's part of, and there's no extra fee for that.
Okay, walk us through.
On this side versus over here, you may be looking at 150, 200, depending on how you're set up. This is where we get to do the spectacular stuff. The ceiling props and all of that on this side over here. We specifically set the areas up in the back with hot water, cold water, sanitation. Because when you come in, they want to know what they need to bring. So all you need to do is bring ice, and then there's a thing under it where we just empty it out once it's done. And the shapers are rentals. We do rentals. So everything that you see is rental in here, except the lights. You know, I'm not renting those out. It cost me a little bit too much for that. We just closed this off because you used to walk in and you could walk straight in. So we added another wall because my thing is this: when you come in for your event, you want to be surprised. So when you hit right here, you be like, okay, woo. Right. And that's why I did that. So Tricky Sauce serves a double purpose. She serves, so when they come in, we give them robes, headbands, slides, and a tiara, because they're little princesses. And we have stations set up, as you can see, pedicure, manicure, pedicure, facial, hair, whatever they need. When it's not being used as trinkets, it serves as the bridal suite. So when the bride comes in, all she needs to do is bring her team. Okay. And she's ready to do business. So it's a full pet area up here, running water, everything. We try to make sure. Oh, yeah. Man. So, yeah. Right. A full pet area. Somebody been up in here, some kids playing. But this is where they get their little feet done, and we keep the curtain down because for some reason kids like looking through them. I ain't figured that one out yet. Yeah.
Little popcorn.
Yeah, when they come in on the weekends, we have the popcorn for them. They also get a little cup with their beverage in it, little grapes and stuff like that to eat while they're having their services. Right. So we really pamper them. And like I said, we want them to experience it so as they're growing older, they can understand and maintain balance and take time for themselves.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
And then, of course, there's one more area, which is the groom's room. Now, keep in mind, it's not as big as the bridal suite because men tend to not need all that fuss. Most of them want a nice place to come, sit down, be together, drink a couple of drinks.
The groom salon.
And this is their space.
Okay.
And so we have hang their suits up here. and put the groomsmen over here, and this is their space.
This is called.
I tried to go with a little safari, so I thought that was on the fitting. The ad and the little glasses. Yeah. But this is their space.
You got it made, man.
Well, thank you.
This is
We're
really
still
nice.
working on it because they're supposed to bring us new ceiling panels and stuff to go in here. But like I said, we only been here a couple of months. And the thing was to get it up for Sam and Brandon to make sure that they could do their wedding here and be our first.
Well, speaking of first, you're our first walkthrough, so we
okay,
appreciate
great.
that.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate that.
So that's Lieu. And sometimes we rent the lobby. We have people come in just want a small area, so we rent them that.
Where can they find you, and where can they book? Call to book. If they want to rent. Or
Okay, if they want to rent, we online, www.lieu events.com,
Right.
706-786-7674. We're located here on Buena Vista Road, 3360, suite number 26.
Okay.
In Columbus, Georgia. Trinket Spa is located inside the building, so it uses the same phone number and also the same address. Their website is www.trinketspa.com, TRINKETSSPA.com.
Okay.
And we can be reached there.
And weddings, what else?
Weddings, birthday
parties?
party, any event, we have enough space, we can handle it.
As you can see.
They got more than enough space.
So yeah, we can handle it. We'd be glad to have them. We look forward to hearing from the people in Columbus.
Right.
If it's just to celebrate with us as we open. Yes.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
This was
So
this
welcome.
was great.
Yeah.
So welcome.
We're back, and we're back. All right, so let's see. EJ, get us back on track. What
Lord,
were
I
we?
just said you gotta bring us back, but it's all good. So we talked about you having that prayer for
Yeah.
the mentor, not mentor,
Yeah.
Right.
and that's the time that you figured out like
Yeah.
power of the tongue.
Right.
Yes.
So after that, well, after Heaven Sent,
After Heaven Sent.
where do you go from there? And how long were you doing Heaven Sent?
We still in the 90s.
We still in the 90s.
Yeah, all through the 90s. I actually didn't stop doing Heaven Sent until I changed the name when Lieu was born.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's when I stopped. Because in
Okay.
between that, as we mentioned, the restaurant off camera, we started doing a restaurant.
What
I
was
did
the name
with
of
my
that?
husband. It really wasn't mine. 'Cause everybody know I don't cook. Okay, I'm the electricity person, but my
Right.
husband does the cooking. And so it was located right there on Forest and Floyd.
Okay.
3.5 Bajans, Caribbean cuisine. And my husband loves to cook, so that was me supporting my husband. Like he had done so many times for me.
And yes, he can cook.
That deserved a clap.
And we got glasses.
Whether it's oxtail, po man oxtails, whatever it is,
And I know
it
they
be
got done,
good.
they wonder now, what is po man oxtail?
I'm still not even sure what po man
Okay, since we're on the
Neck
topic.
bones.
Oh, neck bones.
neck bones.
Cook like oxtail.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did that feel for you?
It felt great because for the first time he was doing something he loved.
Right.
And I was his backbone.
Backbone.
And my husband's, he's my number one fan, but I'm his.
Right.
And whatever he's doing, that's what I'm doing.
How long have y'all been married?
We've been married 35 years.
35
Look.
years.
We're going to clap it up for that, too.
Do it, love.
35 years.
That's black love.
Yes.
Asian love.
What's the gem in the longevity of marriage for us?
I would tell you to first, like most people say, put God first, of course. Always communicate. Any communication is better than no communication. Hear what I just said? Any communication is better than no communication. So you always want to communicate, and then you always want to remember where you came from. When we started, we didn't have anything. When the TV was, the stand was the plastic out of the box. And I tell people that was my most favorite time in my life because that was the time when we were able to be together the most. Now we got everything.
But time.
And if I had it my way, you would never go to work. But then we couldn't be where we are doing the things that we're doing. So you always got to sacrifice. Come back to that word. And so if you're going to sacrifice, make it worth the sacrifice. If you got to go to work, make sure you're going for something. Don't just, I got to get up and go to work. But as a man, what is the goal for your family? What is your goal? Why is your wife working? What is she working towards? When I knew those things, and it always came back to family and our kids, it was easy for me to do whatever I needed to do.
Right.
The restaurant was what he loved to do. I love him. So it was easy for me to do that. And he was doing the bulk of the work. I just had to come in, run the front, doing business, cash register, little stuff like that. I got to decorate it, So those were things that I enjoyed doing.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah. But my husband would get up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, go down and start cooking and prepping food.
Right.
Come home around 6, take a nap, and go back and cook again. I got the hardest working man this side of heaven.
Right.
Okay? So it makes my sacrifice in that was very simple.
Because it was probably like, well, he didn't did this. I can do it too.
My husband has done so much for me.
Right.
So much. He's, like I say, I am who I am because of the man I'm married to. I can be who I want to be.
Right.
So now it was his turn to be who he wanted to be.
That's your best friend.
That's my man. That's my best friend. That's my big kahuna. That's my big sexy. What you talking about? That's my man. Yes.
I love that.
That's mine.
Any communication is better than
no
no
communication.
communication.
That's a gem.
Yeah.
That's a gem.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have days when you don't appreciate each other.
Right.
But don't forget to tell her you love her. I'm mad at you, but I love you.
Right.
And then she's like, and it's done. I promise you. Can't stay mad at love. That's how you get past everything.
I know
Walk by, touch her. She mad now. You know how she go.
Yeah.
Walk by the other side, touch on the other side. Boy, you better stop. Okay. You don't go to bed. We don't go to bed. We don't go to bed angry.
Right.
And if we gonna go to bed angry, you better get in this bed.
Right.
We do not go in separate rooms and sleep ever. That's something we never did. I might be mad and on the edge about to fall off.
But you still
But you
there.
better be on that other side about to fall off too.
Right.
Because when you start doing that, that's when your marriage starts deteriorating.
There's a Bible scripture that talks about going to bed when.
Don't let the sun go down on your anger.
Right.
I think that's what it says.
Right.
That's a gem.
Yeah.
That is a gem.
So you stay together no matter through anger, sad, happy, whatever, you stay together. And then I got some advice from some older ladies. Mother Dixon and Mother Gilliard told me, said, the end of the thing is always going to be better than the beginning. You just got to stay to the end. So make up your mind.
I need you to repeat that.
The ending of a thing is always better than the beginning. And you just got to make up your mind and stay to the end.
Oh my God.
Fire.
Okay? And if you can stay to the end, you'll see. Now I'm living my best life.
Because what they
Right.
got to trust?
They got to trust God.
And they gotta
See you
trust the
through to end
process.
and the process.
Yeah.
That's right. He'll bring you through that process.
Right.
You have to stay in it. Make up your mind to stay married and stay married. Because together you can work out anything. Apart is when you see the problems.
That's true.
Right.
That is so true. Because I
And that's what we did. We're gonna be married forever and ever, amen. And we're gonna work through whatever come our way. And have we had to work through some stuff? Oh yes, sir. If it could happen in a marriage, it done happened.
Right.
But 35 years later, we still together.
you're right.
I like how you said that. Forever and ever. Amen.
That's the end of it. Yeah. The end all to the be all.
Right.
Stay in it.
So, all right. So we're gonna go back. So y'all got the restaurant. What was it like having the restaurant, seeing it do well, And what is doing well in business to you?
My definition of that is probably not going to be what you read in the text.
But we ain't looking in the text.
The business was doing well. The customers had really started coming in, and then at that point, the gentleman who owned the business decided to sell the business. But my thing of doing well doesn't mean that we were making hundreds of thousands of dollars. We had people who would come in every week to sit down at the table just so we could laugh and talk. We had people who would come in on Sundays just to eat oxtails. We had this group of guys that would come from Atlanta. Shout out to y'all, because they really helped us stay afloat. And we would cook just for them when they came in. And they would come down and they made us feel so good because we felt like we had the best food. We did. We had the best food in Columbus because they made us feel that way. They wouldn't go eat nowhere else.
And they driving.
And they drove all the way from Atlanta.
Right.
Every weekend. See, that's success. Success is not how much money you make. It's not how many people know your name.
Right.
That's not success. Success is the value that you've given to the people who do know you. And how they go out and carry that value and share it with somebody else. And then we get a new customer. Oh, by the way, so-and-so sent me. See, that word of mouth thing is the best value that you can ever have.
That's a gem.
Best value.
I want to talk about that. You talked about word of mouth.
Yes.
What do you feel like what is your favorite strategy when it comes to marketing all the business that you have run and what you're running now as far as the Lieu and trinkets? Is it digital or you like the hand-to-hand still?
I still like hand-to-hand. I think digital allows us to get out there to people who we may not ever meet. They can go on, pull us up, and we still may never meet them. But hand-to-hand, when you come and you share it with somebody else, they're coming.
Right.
That's how we're staying afloat now. I haven't advertised except for what I put on Facebook. You don't see me out there every week because right now we don't have a staff for that. So we're trusting that the people who come in here and see the place, they're the ones going out telling everybody.
And advertising for
and
you.
Yes, and when the people come in, oh, remember so-and-so stopped by here a couple of days ago, told me to come check you out. Best advertisement ever.
How do you realize? You just said something then that struck with me. You said that we don't have the staff for that. Like, how do you go about knowing where you are at in life? Besides, experience, because some people go in, whatever business that they want to go into, and they marketing, promoting, and then now they got all these people, but
they can't they can't even work it. They can't even work it because again, they don't have the staff for that.
That's
it's
right.
Too many to handle.
That's right. But see, you have to know your skills. That's where those skills come in play. I have a marketing degree. If I want to sit down and run marketing, I can run marketing. But I understand, even though I got that degree, that's really not my vein. So if I really wanted to do the marketing thing, I would call Michael McCoy Enterprises, like I've already done, and say, listen, son, this is what I need. When I'm ready, I call him back up, and he starts. Why? That's what he does. Let people do what they do.
They specialists.
That's right. See, I ain't gonna try to run no podcast because that's not my vein.
Right.
Okay. Now I can bring you some food in here and set it up real pretty for you and be like, okay, enjoy your podcast. That's me. And then I let you do what you do because that's what you best at. Sometimes you just gotta know your limits. Can I do it? Yes. But why? When I got something else over here I gotta take care of.
Yeah.
So when I go back to him in another month or so and say, okay, I'm ready now, let's do this. He's already prepared and ready. Shout out to Michael. And Nana, that's my other goddaughter.
I love it.
Right.
So, in the restaurant, you said the guy sold it.
Yeah.
So what happens after that?
After he sells it, of course, that's when Murrell Transport is born.
Okay.
My husband's been truck driving 30 years, about 30 years. So when we were young, we talked about doing a truck company. Well, he comes in one day and says he's going to buy a truck. No problem, because I'm your wife. No problem. You want a truck company? Okay. Do the research. Okay. Just got your authority yesterday. Okay. Why? Because that's what he wanted. All this time he been doing what I want. So it was easy for me to do that. Why? I got a business degree. That's why when we sit down, no, that ain't how you want to handle that. Do a little research. This how you want to handle it.
Right.
And Murrell Transport was born. She'll be 2 years old in July.
That's beautiful.
And she making big money. Tell 'em.
Not
That's all I can say. If it weren't for her, we wouldn't be here.
Right. Right.
How does one go about getting a transportation business?
Well, first of all, you're going to need a truck.
Okay.
And to me, that really determines whether or not you're really serious about it. 'Cause you're going to invest a few $1,000s in a truck. And then after that, it's just going to start your LLC, the basic business setup first. And then after that, you go in and get your authority. Getting
What's
an
an authority?
is simply getting a piece of paper that says you're authorized to drive from point A to point B.
Right.
And you can carry freight.
Is there, okay, so with that authority, are there different authorities that you can get to carry different kinds of freight?
Yeah, when you're getting your authority, it'll ask you what kind of freight you're carrying. My husband carries general merchandise.
Got it.
So pretty much you can carry anything on the back of the truck.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after that, you start learning, after you get your authority, now you can start working with Uber and JB Hunt and some of the big companies. Because you want to be able to carry good freight.
Right.
You learn how to read, how to choose freight, and luckily, since my husband been doing this, he already had that expertise.
It was just now he's not doing it for somebody else.
Now he's doing it for himself. So we're on one side, you're making $90,000 or $80,000 a year. Now you can start making $200,000. That's the jump. So when that's the difference in working for somebody else and working for yourself.
Right.
While you're over here working 20 years and you're giving them, and they're giving you 80, they kept $120,000 of your money. Now I feel real stupid because that's money I could have had.
Right.
So when you're doing something, you need to make sure it's for your benefit. How's that gonna benefit your son giving $120,000 away a year? And I like nice purses. They was about a whole lot of MKs. Okay, you see what I'm saying? D&Bs, you see?
Yeah.
And that's what we have to look at, and that's what I had been trying to tell my husband. You'll never get rich working for somebody else.
Right.
So you brought that to him.
Yeah, because when you work for somebody else, they're always going to drive the Porsche, and you're going to always drive the Kia.
Come on, man.
I'm just being honest about the whole thing.
Right.
Okay? But why? Because they're making the bulk of that money.
Right.
You're hired.
They're cutting you in.
That's right. They cutting you in. So
Right.
now he has his own truck. So he's doing well for himself.
Was that like a dream come true for him?
I believe it was. I believe the restaurant was what he had dreamed of doing. I believe owning the truck company is what he had a dream of doing.
Was there some pushback with telling him, hey, look, you can do this on your own? Was there any convincing that you had to do?
I think that once he got to a certain place, and I think, too, it has a lot to do with fear. If you never opened up a business, never had to be responsible, sometimes that fear will hold you back.
Right.
And before he could allow it to hold him back, I had already got the authority. Not this time, devil. Not this time.
Right.
You saw the potential and you made sure
My
he
husband
had to
has
see it.
always had potential. Baby, if it's this big, he can put that truck in it. You know, I tell, look at my man bagging that truck up, right? He can drive that truck. Listen, he does what he does.
What's a hiccup that came about with this truck company that y'all had to go through?
The hiccup is this. The hiccup is when you got to do your own maintenance. Because this, about a week ago, we paid something like $1,200 to have the truck fixed. 3 days later, we was paying another $7. And, you know, trucks can be some creatures.
Right.
Especially as they start getting older. So like now I feel like we almost got a brand new truck because we didn't put so much into it. But when the other good thing to that is that you know that truck.
Right.
So you know what it's capable of doing.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean my job is just to make him happy. If he want to go drive the truck, baby, do what you want to do. I'm here to make you happy. Right. I handle the back office. I make sure we get paid. That's my job.
And with transportation, how do y'all get paid?
We have a factoring company.
Okay.
We use Love's as our factoring company. So when my husband finds a load, we receive a tender, and a tender tells us where it's going, when it's got to be there, how much it's going to be paid. We receive the tender. Once we receive the tender, it becomes our load. My husband picks that load up, delivers it. Once it's delivered, I get a bill of lading. When I get the bill of lading, I take the bill of lading, the tender, and what we call a bill of sale, and I send it to Love's. Love's takes that. What I'm doing is selling them. And for a small percentage, they take that and send me my money.
And Love's is
and
the truck company that you see.
Yeah, Love's is the little Love's stops, all that. They own all that. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
But they also have on the backside the factoring company.
Right.
And they allowed me to get my money today. Instead of having to wait 30 days if you don't have a factoring company.
You're teaching right now.
Yes, you are. That's why I'm asking.
It's a truck driver out there right now that's like, I don't know how to do this, and you're teaching them the game right now.
Master class.
Look, I need 5 avenues of income.
You right.
Holla at me.
Look, we can do a little consulting
For a fee.
For a small fee, I can help you out.
I love it, man.
Right. What's some common misconceptions about owning a business in general? Because you've done a lot up to this point.
I think it's that they fail. They always fail. I think people think small businesses always fail. I don't agree. I don't agree with that. My thing is this: if it fails, did it really fail? Did you fail?
Or did you quit?
I mean, no. Everything is it's a learning.
Right.
So my idea of success may not be your idea. So when you say, well, the company, I remember my husband saying, well, so-and-so failed. No, they didn't. Because what they learned from that experience will ensure that the next adventure they take on is successful.
Yeah.
You don't really fail, you just learn.
Right.
You learn how to get back up. You learn that, okay, so that wasn't the right thing to do. So let me try something else. That's what you learn. You never fail.
And it's you know, one thing that you had made mention earlier is the difference in being in success.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like my success isn't your success.
That's right.
And you made sure like my success isn't a number. A number can't match my success.
That's right.
Right.
It to me is what I learned, what I carry from that. Because when I took that from that situation, I can apply it over here. And I can say, oh, you remember when you did that last time, what happened? We're not doing that. We're going to make a different plan. And so we make a different plan and we make adjustments. You can never fail. Only time you fail is if you don't try. And that's the honest truth. If you never tried, what'd you get from it?
Nothing.
And then you'll be sitting on the porch one day when you're 85, rocking in a chair, talking about, I wish I had, not me. I ain't gonna never live my life like that.
Because you're gonna go get it.
Because if it what the world says fail, I'd rather see it fail than not to try.
And if you never fail, what you really learn?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. So when it finally does happen, when you already at the top, you're gonna crumble.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have no foundation.
No foundation to build upon.
You don't even know what it feel like to lose.
Hey, I done lost a lot, but I've always gained more than I lost. Because the wisdom that I got from that episode helped me to get to where I'm at today. It's a stepping stone. It's a ladder, stepping stones. You just keep stepping.
Right.
Even if it doesn't turn out the way you thought it should, didn't mean you failed, just mean along the way you got off your path.
Right.
Look back, where did I get off? And then make the adjustment and watch what happens. That's all we have to do.
So we're in trucking. And you said it's 2 years old.
2 years.
2 years.
July.
So when was the transition from trucking to Lieu?
I've always done what I did. I never stopped doing what I do. Because I'm able to multitask, I can wake up in the morning, 7 o'clock, handle his truck, and be here by noon, and do what I got to do here. Leave here by 6, go home. If I miss something, catch it. Boom.
Right.
Life is simple. You just have to, this is what I tell people, you can't allow the things in your life to dictate to you. You have to be the hands on the clock, and you must dictate to it. So when you're done dictating, everything you need to do will fall in place.
Where did you learn organization?
I learned as I stumbled. You learn as you go. We could go to school and say, oh, well, I took an organization class. Yeah, okay. I did. Didn't help me none.
Because you
Didn't
got to
help
learn.
me any until I learned how to dictate with the hands on the clock.
Right.
It ain't 3 o'clock till I say it's 3. The show can't start till I say it starts. You see what I'm saying? When you start doing that, now everything falls in place, and you're not around here running around in circles. Because if life dictates to you, and your business is dictating to you, your family is dictating, you crazy.
Right.
You just run around in circles looking crazy. Not me. So I don't let things stress me like that.
The show gonna start when we're ready.
Yeah, they're going to start when we're ready.
Because at the end of the day,
Because at the end of the day, I'm the one in charge.
There you go.
And I'm doing this.
Right.
Okay? Yeah, it's going to start when we ready.
you own it.
Right.
That's right.
I do want to talk about Trinkets. Trinkets wasn't always here.
No.
Right. So
No.
let's talk about that. When you got that first building.
Yeah.
And what that meant putting that whole place together, because
So during Heaven Cynt, which is still going on, we did Trinkets.
Okay.
Trinkets is before we get here. Trinkets Spa and Play is a spa and play for girls, as a way to minister and reach out to the community, to have a door open. We started Trinkets. I noticed that young girls in Columbus, we sometimes, because we are in small towns, we don't really get to experience everything.
Right.
Or we learn this. We as women put ourselves second and push the husband and the children first, and it leaves us imbalanced. And I don't want any young girl growing up that way. I need her to understand it's okay for you to say no. Honey, I'm going to go take care of me right now, and I'm going to leave the children with you, okay? It's okay. Because in my generation, that was never okay. It's okay for you to take time for yourself. In my generation, that was never okay. We were so busy taking care of everybody else, we forgot to take care of ourselves.
So when did you tell yourself, like, yo, something got to give? And
When one night we were at home and I fainted, and my body restarted. It's like I had a restart. And that's when I knew something got to change. Something got to change. And the only way it's going to change is if it starts with me. So I set up Trinkets for girls to come in to teach them that they're beautiful.
right.
You're your own kind of beautiful. As I was telling you guys earlier, my beauty doesn't outshine your handsomeness, because my life is better when you're in it. It's better. And we have a lot of people in Columbus, a lot of young girls who don't like the skin they in. They'll come in and say, I wish I was this color. I wish I was that color. Why? Because see, if you had been anybody else, I would never have met you. And my life wouldn't be any better. Because one day you may be an astronaut. You may be the president of the United States. And you know what I can say? What? That you came to Trinkets.
Yeah.
And your
That's
picture
facts.
is over here to prove it. You want my picture? Of course, because you're somebody.
Yep.
That's what we have to teach our young girls.
Yeah.
We got to teach them to value themselves. Because if we don't tell them they're beautiful, where they going to get it from?
They never gonna not know it.
I've had girls come in and their parents have never told them they're beautiful. And when I say, you are beautiful, they cry. So what happens when they growing up? They go out here in the street, they meet this little hard head, and the first thing he do is tell her she beautiful. The next thing you know, she pregnant. Why? Because he loved me. So we begin to equate love with stuff that it shouldn't even be equated with. But if we invest in those girls, you're beautiful, you're excellent, you're awesome, you're fabulous, and they can hear that, then they ain't moved by the first young man that come in their life. I tell them, don't be bought for the price of a Happy Meal. You're worth so much more than that.
Right. With you having daughters and you knowing your own self-worth so young, what's some tips that you can give that parent, maybe they're a single parent or whatever, or maybe they're not a single parent, that have daughters, right? What's some tips that you can give them to start practicing and start teaching them what their self-worth is?
Well, we've had people come in the shop and they were having problems with the kids.
Right.
Get in a conversation, you find out, I go in the back and I start talking. Well, I love my mom, but I'm 16 and she still thinks I'm 8. My first tip to every mother is know what you raised. And then after you raise it, trust it and let it go. You got mothers around here holding on to boys grown, 21. You want to know where they at and you mad because they didn't call you today. He 21. When are you going to let him go? You got to trust that what you raised, what you put in him is there. So at some point, we got to let them wash the dishes. Because she's not 8 anymore, she's not going to drop the glass. Okay? We got to trust what we're raising in our house. If you can't trust it, who going to trust it? If you won't let her wash the dishes, who going to let her wash? When is she going to learn to cook? When is she going to learn to take care of herself? All because you feel, oh, that's my baby. And at a certain point, they stop being babies. Hannah and Wayne, y'all got a baby. How do we know? You've got to take care of him.
Right.
At 16, they still your baby, but you don't got to change no diapers. At that point, they're able to take care of themselves. Start giving them kids responsibilities. Okay, because when they leave your house, who going to take care of them? Not me, not none of mine. And a man needs to be a man. Raise a man in your house, and then you can trust him when he go out, that he's going to be a man. That's all I'm saying. As mothers, we have to start trusting what we're raising. That's all I'm saying. Because when they go to school, they don't know how to act. You can vouch for that.
These kids don't be know
And
how
they're
to
a
act.
direct reflection of those parents that's raising them.
Every time. Every time.
And then you want to get mad with me because little Johnny don't know how to act. Well, he got it from you. And I ain't scared to come to school and tell you. Yeah, he got it from you. Because that's how you act. You want to know your kid, when my kids was growing up, I ain't let them make friends with everybody. You can't go to everybody's house till I see their mama. And you sure can't go over there because I met the mama.
Yep.
You can't let your kids around everybody. Can't do it. Even, especially in this generation. With all that's going on, you can't trust everybody with your kids.
Nope.
So then what you have to do is trust what you put in them. Raise them in the way that they should go, and they shall not depart from it. If you raise them in the fear and admiration of the Lord, and you did not spare the rod, because that's a whole nother subject, then you didn't spoil that child, and they'll be who you said they'll be. Will kids do what they want to do? Yes, all the time. But I can promise you this, they'll never do it without thinking about what you'll think of. I was in the military grown. People were doing, I can't do that because my mama them would kill me. I'm a grown woman, but I never forgot what they put in me. That is what I would tell. That is my thing for girls nowadays. Allow them to be young ladies. And girls be young ladies. Pajamas ain't street clothes. Okay? They not. You should care more about yourself when you go out in the street. Put your clothes on when you go out, because you don't never know who you're going to meet.
Right.
And do you want to really meet them in a bonnet and pajamas? You think your husband going to want to see you in that, young lady? Your next boyfriend, he don't want to see you in that. He also don't want to see you with all your cleavage and booty hanging out. Let me just add. Okay, he don't want to see you in that either. But he wants you to be in a modest. Do that mean that you can't wear No, that ain't what it means. It means be modest. And I promise you, they'll respect you more. They'll respect you more. That's what we should be teaching our young ladies.
And it's so crazy because it's, we always talk about, like, the little boyfriend and your husband, but that goes for opportunities.
Yes.
You're not going to get no opportunity in no bonnet.
No, you're not.
You're not going to get no job, no nothing. You don't know who you going to meet.
That's right.
And you don't know who watching you.
That's right. That is so true. So true. So true.
Manners as well.
Yes.
And that's for the little
gotta
boys
have
as well.
That's right. You can't be going out on no job interview with your pants hanging off you.
Some of these folks don't even want you to cut their grass and your pants sagging.
That's right.
Because you're a representation of how my yard look, which means you're a representation of me.
I can remember my son. We don't sag in my house. And my son went and got these big old pants, Paul, where the pockets came down here.
Shout out to Paul.
Right? And I can remember him going out in those pants. And this old lady stopped him.
Hold on, Paul?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
your son?
That's my boy.
Hey, shout out to Paul, man.
So I remember him going out and this old lady stopping him and telling him, said, I know your mama didn't raise you like that. I can tell you different. See, no matter how much you say, what's in you gonna come out. So ain't no need in you trying to fit in with the group, because no matter what happened, you still ain't gonna fit in. It wasn't designed for you to fit in.
Right.
Even though he had on a belt, because she said, now, baby, pull your belt. He said, ma'am, I do got on the belt. She said, oh, they just that big. All because you wanted to sag, So it doesn't matter. If you've raised them, it's in there. People will always recognize it.
Right.
So you don't have to worry. Now we just have to let them be who they are, and not rush them into being something they're not. Kids should enjoy their childhood. That's one thing Paul said. Reason he never wanted to grow up. He enjoyed his childhood. It was such a great childhood. I just don't want to grow up. But at some point you gotta let it go.
You gotta let it go.
But that's how it should be. They should have such an awesome childhood till they don't ever want to grow up. And if we could keep kids, then half the stuff that they're going through nowadays, they would not have to face.
That's facts. What would you say is your superpower?
Besides God, I would say my superpower is probably my compassion for people and the love that I have for the things of God. I'll say it like that, because that also encompasses his people.
Right. In my mind, just thinking about what you just asked her, communicator.
You think so?
Yeah. Communicator. It's something about the way you're able to convey the message, even in everything that you've been able to say tonight. The way you've said it have all had power behind it.
Yeah.
It's all had power behind it. It almost feels like you're reading from a book of famous Cynt Murrell quotes.
I can say it because I tell you that's how I live. I live by what I say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the truth.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's definitely an energy behind it. That's why, like what he said, even the atmosphere.
Right.
Thank you.
It just feels
Yeah, I do believe we create our own atmosphere. When you enter the room, the atmosphere should change just because you're there. Because the power you bring is different from what I bring.
Right.
And they don't have to clash. But your power says, oh, I'm Wayne. I'm here. Hear me roar.
right.
And people will see you when you walk in. And I believe that we do change the atmosphere when we enter the room.
So other than being married, other than having kids, other than being a child of God, excluding all of that, what is your greatest accomplishment?
Ooh, besides my family.
Besides, that's a cop
I
out.
would say my greatest accomplishment is.
And why?
I think my greatest accomplishment would be not allowing fear to rule my life. That is my greatest accomplishment. Once I got over fear the first time, then I realized it didn't have no hold on me. But you always got to get past that first time. And now when it's time for me to do something, okay. Because I don't have a fear of failing. All that went with fear. I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna be successful.
You are successful.
Yes, because I already spoke that thing. I believe what I say to me. And I believe that my success is also predicated on my faith. God wants me to be successful, so I am successful. I believe I'm successful because of God. All of it goes back together. So fear was the one thing that when I first started out used to keep me bound up. It's a lot of things I didn't do that I had to go back to do.
Right.
Because of fear.
What was one? The biggest one.
The Lieu events. What if I could do all these events but don't nobody come? I got a big old building I'm paying for every month and nobody shows up. Then I said, what if? Okay, well, let's see. And I started looking for a building. I've been looking for a building for 2 years. It had to be a special kind of building. A building that could house and do and be equipped to do anything I wanted to do. Any event that can be held, I can hold it here. So, and it also had to be different from what I saw. When I went over here, I saw this, and when I went over here, I saw this. I wanted something different. And then, so that's how I get here. Fear. I'm not going to tell you it doesn't raise its head. But when it raises its head, you got to be able to knock it down and say, girl, even if you don't stay open but 1 month, at least you were open. You did more than those who talked about it.
Yep.
It's like the singer who goes up and sings but feels he can't sing, and the people heckling, but they ain't on stage. So you did something that they sure didn't have the strength to do and the confidence to do. So you did better than them. I'm going to do better than somebody.
Even if it was you.
Even if it's me. I'm going to do something.
Yep.
So, hey, why not?
With that thought process, you can't lose.
Oh, I can't lose, right?
Right.
So whatever. I got all this equipment. All this stuff came out my... It's a long journey, y'all. I'm telling you. I had equipment, stuff packed up. And when we moved in here, I had already furnished this whole place. Only thing we had to buy was these couches.
That's it.
Ain't God awesome?
God is amazing.
Oh, yeah. Amazing.
So if I fail, what I lose? I'll just put it back in the storage.
You gain a lesson.
That's right. But I gained a lesson. Okay, I got to pay another storage fee. But that's it. You know. So
But you done been there before.
been there and done it.
So it ain't
Know how to do it, right?
It's not a trail that hasn't been blazed already.
Right.
That's right. If you did it once, you can do it again.
It ain't foreign.
That's right. So that's what I say to you guys. It starts small. But you know what? God will give you a small thing, but it will always grow. You ain't got to worry about it. All you have to do is make sure you maintain that.
That's it. Just keep
'Cause
going.
Today you on Facebook, but tomorrow you could be on BET. You never know where God's gonna take you. You never know. But unless you start.
Right. Okay, so we get the building, right? We move trinkets from the original location to
On
here.
Armour Road, yeah.
On Armour Road.
We were there
to over
4
here.
years.
Right.
4 years on
Okay.
Armour Road.
Simultaneously, we also have opened up Lieu.
Lieu at the same
At the same time.
What does that mean?
Lieu means the event space.
The event space. That's all.
The event space.
Yeah, the event space. I wanted something that said the event space, and I was like, let me see what it looked like in front.
Right.
And Lieu, okay, I like that. And everybody was like, what is a Lieu? Girl, the event space.
It's a place that you need to come book all your events. That's what it is.
That's
what
right.
it is.
That's what it is.
You want to know what it is? Come visit.
Yes, please. Call us 706-786-7674.
One more time. I don't think they heard me.
706-786-7674.
That's right. We get the space. Walk us through what that first event. First of all, who was the first event? And walk us through what that meant
The
to you.
first event was Sam and Brandon.
Right.
Sam is my daughter, my niece.
Shout out to them.
Yes, they had the most awesome wedding ever,
Right.
right? And they trusted me. Kathy, and Jaime trusted me to handle that wedding. Pretty much whatever I said is what was going. And we get down here. Keep in mind now we are 3 months into this place. You got to understand, it don't look like it looks now. It was full of trash when we walked in here. The walls were orange and black. And so we've transformed the place just for that wedding.
And
I had to get it ready just for that.
Extremely fast.
But it looked good. So we got it together, and the place is done, and she wanted eucalyptus green. Okay, baby. That's what you want. Yes, Auntie. And she was like, in white. Okay, we can do eucalyptus in white. Okay. But, of course, she had her questions. Girl, you just trust me. Just trust me. A lot of times people know what they want, but they don't really know what they want until they see it created for them. So we went and we created something special for her. Ordered in a new 4-post, and we threw thousands of flowers up on it, and it turned out exceptionally well. They came in, when she came in to see it, she was very pleased.
Right.
That's my first. Is she gonna be pleased? When she was pleased, I was pleased. There wasn't nothing else to do. For me, it wasn't nothing else to do.
Right.
Because I had met her expectation to the point where she had told me that I didn't even need to put nothing else up. Right there, that was enough. But I told her there's so much more. And so we took it on over to the next level. We used this side, which is what we call the main ballroom. We used that to host the wedding. And then we opened up this side, and we used it for the cocktail and dance area.
Okay.
And it was the most perfect thing that we could have done.
Right.
I mean, Anna and Wayne were there, so.
It was beautiful.
Yeah,
It was beautiful.
I couldn't make it. I was with the babies, but my wife came.
Yeah, your wife sure did come. It
Jim
turned
Girl
out
Joe,
really,
shout out.
really nice. And just that first event with the beauty of it all, it really set the stage for what we wanted to do. See, I always want to go big. You could do a standard setting.
Right.
It's been done before. When you come to Lieu, we want to give you something that ain't been done. See, you thought it was done, but it wasn't done like this. And we always want to put a twist on it. So that when people are looking, they're saying, oh, you know what, so-and-so had something like that at their wedding, but they ain't had that wedding.
Right.
Nope.
We want to create something especially for you.
One of one.
One of one. We're not trying to copy nothing we did to give it to somebody else. Now, if they walk in, can I have just that? What we could do is do you something similar to that. But I don't want to give you what somebody else had. Because then it ain't yours.
Yep.
It's not yours.
Right.
So that's what we're doing here.
Oh no! Look, theirs was so beautiful. Look, you might can put on your website the Sam and Brandon package.
Thank you, Wayne. That's so sweet.
The S&B.
The SMB package.
That's a good idea.
The S&B pack.
Well, maybe what we could do is, because we're getting ready to explore something new, we're trying to do the Las Vegas wedding. You run into the chapel. We're thinking about setting up an area that's already ready, and you just come in and you want to get married, you can get married on the spot. So that's something else that
cool.
we're getting ready
That's
to
dope.
experience with.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people that,
especially our military.
Yeah.
We right here with Fort Moore, and people want to get married. Things are going on. They got to rush. Well, we want to be the answer for that. So there's a lot going on here at Lieu.
Always up in the bar.
Up in the bar, yes.
Right.
I like that. There's no satisfying. You know what I'm saying?
We're very pleased with the first event. I was really pleased. I had the best photographer, Kima, from the Sweetest Things Photography. Took excellent pictures. Y'all hit her up. She's one of the best in the city, if not the best.
We need to have her on.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yes,
Right.
do.
We need to have her on.
One of the best. So she did so much justice for us.
Right.
And we were able to, from there, create websites and things that we needed from just using her pictures.
Man, that's a blessing.
She's awesome.
God be working, man.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We had the best macaroon lady from macaroons. I mean, when God pulled it together, he pulled it together for us, and he gave us a beautiful wedding. The groom was happy. He was the first one to get to use the groom suite. He didn't care about the size. He was just happy that there was space for him.
Right.
You know, and it's set up. You know, it's got a man theme going on, so. It worked out.
We gonna see it.
It was really special for me too, because that's my babies. That's my family.
Yeah.
And to be able to do something that spectacular for my family, and the love and the surprise and the happiness that it brought, it was all so worth it. So worth it. So worth it.
So what's next?
I think I'm gonna stay here for a while and let Lieu do what she does. Let Trinket Spa do what she does. And hopefully continue to reach our community. We do want to do some things that's going to involve the community to give back. I always believe you should give back where you grew up.
Right.
I don't have anything against the North Side, but I don't live in the North Side. I live here. This is my community. So I'm creating a space, something for this community where they don't have to go there. Where we can keep our money here and grow our community.
Economic growth.
Economic growth, yes. Because that's the only way communities survive.
Yeah.
And this one needs to survive. We need to establish this as also a place to be. And a lot of times it's the location. You know, I had some people tell me I'm in the wrong location. No, I'm in the right location because it's needed here.
Yeah.
This is where we need it. Because if you go on the camera page that I'm on, it'll tell you what high-risk areas are. The same crime happening here, happening up north.
Yep.
It ain't no difference. But you want to label South, the Southwest, Southeast bad, but you want to label that as the greatest. Why? The same crime. We are in the same area.
Same city.
So I can't understand how one area can be so much better than the other one. But
and in order for us to get to that point to where we can strip that label, we have to continue to build here.
That's right. We have to continue to show the people there's something here.
There's value
There's
here.
some good.
Right.
They say, you know, even with Jesus, did anything good come out of Nazareth? Jesus?
Yep.
Can something good come off of Buena Vista Road? Exactly. Because we here.
Right.
Absolutely.
And we're changing the atmosphere.
One thing that we do, you know, a lot of other shows, they give out flowers. But we're not other shows.
That's right.
We're Free Gems.
That's right.
What we want to do, we want to give you your jewelry.
And we know that you like to shine, Auntie.
Yes, we like that bling.
We want to give you your jewelry because you not only are a pillar in this community, you have multiple businesses. You are a gem yourself.
Thank you so
came
much.
and dropped so many gems. This was a master class in business, in marriage, in overall life. So Free Gems want to give you your jewelry. So
Thank you so much. Thank y'all.
we appreciate
Pleasure for me
you,
to be here.
man. We appreciate you.
We're enjoying this. I already knew, you know, because I know Auntie gonna come and give it up because that's what she does, you know. But it's just to see it and be able to experience it in real time
Yes.
and live. I'm just thankful.
Yeah.
It's just it's my way of investing back.
Right.
And that's what it's really all about. And my generation should be investing in the younger generation. We don't invest in you how we expect for you to come up.
That's true.
So that's why we're here. If it's anything that I can do to help, whether it be the place, whatever, you want to do something to promote yourself, holler at me, let me know. Let's come together and make it happen.
Right.
Everything ain't about money. Sometimes you just got to be the nephew.
Is there anything that you would like to ask us?
You know, I know that y'all been friends for a while now, but how did y'all meet? I never knew that.
We met in middle school.
Wow.
But we weren't close until 2019-ish, 2020.
Yeah.
So a long period of time, it was more so just like acquaintance. You know, we knew each other. We had some of the same friends.
Yep.
But it never really went further than that. We knew who each other were, but it never really went any further up until, like I said, around late 2019, 2020.
What changed then?
You know,
Music.
Music.
Oh, music
Well,
brought y'all together.
we've
Music
been
has a way to do that.
we been like he said, we've been cool forever.
Right.
The man then been in my house prior to both of us being married, whatever. But we would often text
Right.
just about music because we share some of the same music tastes. We differ in a lot too.
A little bit of the same music taste.
Whatever. So, and we've been pretty much inseparable since then.
Yeah.
Okay, so the music brought y'all
We
together.
argue about music. That's what we do. Well, I argue about music, about his bad music takes.
This guy,
It ain't bad, it's just your taste.
it's just my taste.
and
And I try to tell him, like, don't debate me on my opinion.
no,
Yeah.
I'm going to debate you every time.
Like, he has horrible takes, but I'm not going to get into that.
That's fine.
But he chose one thing right, Emma.
Exactly. Horrible take where?
Okay.
We ain't talking marriage. We're talking
It
music,
can't be
brother.
too bad.
Right. But that really brought us together. And like you said, pretty much it's to the point to where our wives, you know, Anna and his wife Jody, they make jokes. People like if they're together and he just say, "Hey, I'm on the way," why is he coming? Why just because we together, y'all got to be together?
Well, how did y'all meet?
Bosa.
Bosa. So
So-
how did you come in?
We all went to, well, all four of us, we all went to Hardaway.
Okay, gotcha.
But I didn't
gotcha.
know Bosa from.
But he ain't know, me and Gumbo, we played ball together. But he's older.
Okay.
So when we were freshmen, he was a senior.
Okay.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yep. And how we came together was I have a brand called 10 Feet,
Okay.
and I shot a commercial.
So what's 10 feet?
Okay, 10 Feet is a brand that me and my wife came about. The name came about, I suffered from like real bad, like I didn't go nowhere, but real bad like depression
Gotcha.
and low self-esteem. And it's crazy because I wasn't always like that. Like
Yeah.
my big brother would say I was like Kanye. So like my biggest, I guess, superpower, like how I asked you back then, was my confidence. Things happen,
Yeah.
life happened,
Life happens. Yeah.
and I was damaged goods.
Okay. I got it.
And she helped build me back up.
up.
And she would often tell me, like, you're Superman to me and you're 10 feet to
Oh,
me.
wow. That's a good wife.
So, great wife, perfect wife to me,
Yeah.
you know. And,
You're real.
yeah, for sure. My spine, you know, the whole reason why I'm walking today, for real. But, so, long story short, I was sitting on our couch and I was like, I want to do something. I want to come up with a business because I've always kind of been like, well, what people would say is business minded or whatever. And she was like, I said, I can't think of a name though. And she was like, well, call it 10 Feet, just like that, and just walked away. And I was like, oh my
Wow.
God. And so from there came the idea of the commercial. And I hit Wayne up. I'm like, yo, I got an idea for a commercial. Told him the idea. I said I need a beat. So he made me a beat called Gumbo. Gumbo, I got an idea. I got a beat. I just need you to shoot it. So, and then I called another couple of brothers of mine. You know, they rap. They do music.
Okay.
And they rapped over Wayne's beat. And we're all close now. But that was like a product of Free Gems before Free Gems was Free Gems. They didn't even know each other.
Still didn't know who he was, even though he shot the commercial, because I couldn't make it to the commercial.
Oh, wow.
So I still had no idea who he was. I just was in a group chat with matter of fact, I didn't know who any of them were really. So I'm in a group chat with just a bunch of random numbers and DJ. You know, but
look what came out of it.
Yeah,
Look
I'm
what
super
came out of
thankful.
it. Yeah.
Super thankful for these two.
Look what came out of it. That's why I say you never know where God is going to place us.
That's right.
Yeah, and why he brings us together.
Yep.
He just does. He knows.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. So how long have you been doing photography? 8 years. Okay.
He said 8 years.
8 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So y'all really already set to go big.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Y'all already ready.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all just waiting on that one moment.
That's it. All it takes is one.
That's one.
Okay.
We just
'Cause I
got to
know
continue to
Paul love
move.
you.
Oh, Paul
love your music.
Paul is my brother. That's my
Me
brother.
and Paul, how I met Paul was obviously through him.
Right.
And it was his wedding, the bachelor party weekend.
Okay.
And we all went to a
Oh,
concert.
yes, that's right. That's right.
And you know, it's so funny because at the time, I was like, you know, when you bringing people together, you don't know how that
they come together, yeah.
right. So at the
gonna
time,
click.
I was like, I don't even know if this is gonna work,
Yeah.
if they really gonna click or
Yeah.
anything like that. But it don't matter because we're just here to
Yeah.
do this. But it end up hitting it off, you know. And one of the biggest things is music.
Yeah. Y'all have that in common.
We already had that in common.
Because
And-
I didn't even know Paul liked music till he started doing it. He never sang. He played the trumpet. He played a lot of instruments, trumpet, tuba, all that. But he never played piano or anything. So I never thought he was into music like that. And then one day he just came in. He said, "Mom, I wrote a rap song." You wrote a rap song? Yeah, and it turned out to be pretty good.
Right.
But I'm going to tell y'all who really set y'all label on fire. Anna Mae!
Gym girl Anna.
Baby, she threw down on her verse.
Have you heard that?
I believe so.
Please don't.
Anna Mae.
But it's funny because I met Paul at. Did I meet Paul in Colorado?
That's what you always tell me.
Colorado.
Yes.
I met Paul at Colorado.
You said he offered you a brew and that you ain't drink brew and you drunk like 3 on.
I did. I did.
Yeah.
I have a history of that.
Yeah, man. This
Of-
man
of
is
drink-
wild.
Of taking things.
He don't know
that
how to say no.
I don't.
And then he'll talk about you.
No.
Yes.
No, I won't
Yes,
talk. I talk about
yes.
you to you,
No.
not to other people.
No. This man talked about me. Came to my house and drunk wine.
And talked about
and
it.
then talked about me. Did not drink wine. I was like, why are these people offering me? You know, but I didn't want to turn it down because I felt like, well, they must think enough of me to offer me.
Yeah,
You know, so I'm going to drink it.
yeah,
And after I drank it, you know, I chugged it because I didn't want it.
yeah.
They were like, I'll just take another glass. And I'm like, God, no, man.
He could have just been like, no, I'm good.
Nah, I'm
I'm
good.
These two
Yeah.
nice people, man. What's
Yeah.
wrong with these people?
That would've
But
been
Paul's
okay.
situation was the same way. I met Paul, and he offered me a beer, and we actually went out one of them nights.
Yeah. You, him, and Corey.
Me, him, and Corey went to the club, and he was like, first round of beers on me. And I'm like, Jesus, another one? Like, what's this guy on? And we drank that one, and I told him years later, in the club, I actually poured it out on the floor.
Oh,
So,
Lord.
so I would pretend
Wasted.
to drink it.
Yeah.
wasting.
And I would pour it. And I would drink a little bit. And he was like, man, you are killing that beer. The whole time I'm just trying to get rid of it. not knowing that he just taking his time sipping it. He was like, man, you almost done. I'm gonna get you another.
Don't give me another.
I'm good, bro.
Man. But yeah, that was my first meeting of Paul, and I was like, this guy's just too nice. This guy's just too nice.
He is.
And we've been cool ever since.
He is what you see is what you get.
Yeah, that he is exactly who he portrayed himself.
Yes. Yeah.
That's my brother.
Then
So.
James.
Shout out to Paul.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Shout out to Wham. Wham to God.
That's my only man that I had, my little man.
Right.
I know he's gonna be like, Mama.
Anything else?
Nah, that's
Man, thank you. How we
You're
like
so welcome.
how we like to end our show off is our top 5. Being that you are a serial entrepreneur, what's your top 5 businesses that you've been in?
That I've been in. Of course, I got to name mine. Lieu.
Mm-hmm.
There's Trinket Spa. Trinket Spa would probably be my top.
Okay.
Because she's in her 5th year.
Okay.
Okay.
So Trinket, Lieu is only 6 months old.
Okay.
The Murrell transport is 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it would have to be, that's all my business is. Let's see. It would have to be my son, music.
Okay.
And then it would have to be you and your music and podcasts.
Okay.
Those would have to be my top 5 because those are the ones that I want to see grow and venture out. And I want the world to know about you. Yes.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Man,
This was great.
this is great. I told you it'd be great.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, give my guy. You gotta call
Those would
spade a
have to be
spade
my
now.
top 5. And then let me give a shout out to my girl, DJ Breezy.
Shout out to Breezy,
Yeah,
baby.
I got to give her a shout out.
Big Diamond Breezy. Come on, man.
Free gym alum. She's been on the show.
Yeah, because she really has come in and really supported us.
Yeah.
DJ Cashflow, shout out.
Shout out.
Because he know how to handle a wedding. So I'm doing this because these are people who've come in to, really assist us and help us to maintain where we are.
Right.
Of course, I shouted out Kima, Sweetest Things Photography.
Right. Kima is Justin's sister.
Justin's sister.
Got
yes.
it. Got it.
Of course, I got to shout out Justin because
Right.
anytime
Justin
I need Big Daddy.
Dakota is his wife, soon to be wife.
Soon to be wife. Justin Hightower.
Justin
I
Hightower
don't
is his
think I
name.
know. I don't think I know Justin.
Probably not. Well, I met Justin obviously through Dakota.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Then I shout out Kathy DeCosta because she's been my right hand. Anything that I do, she's here to support me. My brother Ronald Jones, that's my guy. I mean, he bends over backwards for me, and I love it. To my mom, because she comes in and does whatever she can do. To my husband, because that's my man. That's my big kahuna, my big sexy, my best friend, my lover, my true partner.
Yeah.
Even though I do have a partner, that's my true partner, and he keeps me stable.
Right.
So I love him for that. And then I shout out to my partner, Angela Baez, for thinking enough of me to want to partner with me. And we pray that her mom is receives some good care and is healed and gets what she needs real soon.
Right.
Yeah.
So prayers to Miss Baez's mother.
Yes.
And like Auntie said, we pray that she gets the healing that she needs, and she's gonna overcome this.
That's right.
For sure.
Overcome this.
That's right.
And this concludes another great episode of Free Gems Podcast.
Appreciate y'all having me.